Welcome back to Short History Talks, where we bring history's greatest stories to life. Today, we're diving into one of the most important turning points in world history, the birth of the Roman Republic. We'll uncover how Rome overthrew its kings, built a government of checks and balances, and how the common people, the plebeians, rose up to demand a voice of their own. This is the story of how Rome became the republic that ruled the world. According to legend, Rome was founded in 753 BC by Romulus. Yes, that Romulus from the myth of Romulus and Remus. For over 2 centuries, Rome was ruled by kings, 7 in total. Some wise, some cruel, and the last of them, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, or Tarquin the Proud, ruled with an iron fist. He ignored the Senate, taxed heavily, and silenced opposition through fear. But his downfall came after a terrible event at the hands of his own son, Sextus Tarquinius, the assault on a noblewoman named Lucretia, who inevitably committed suicide. Her tragic death shocked Rome. Led by Lucius Junius Brutus, the Romans rose up and drove Tarquin out. No more kings in Rome, they swore, and in 509 BC, the Roman Republic was born. Rome didn't just get rid of its kings, it reinvented how power worked. They created res publica, or translated to the public thing, or the republic. Instead of one ruler, there were 2 consuls elected each year. Each consul had equal power, and each could veto the other. That way, no one person could ever become a tyrant again. When their 1-year term ended, they returned to being ordinary citizens. Rome had found a new way to share power, and it worked. The Roman Republic was built on a brilliant idea: checks and balances. Each part of the government limited the other. Let's break it down. The Senate. The Senate was the most powerful body in Rome, made up of about 300 members, mostly patricians or nobles. The Senate advised the consuls, managed foreign policy, and controlled the treasury. Though technically advisors, their influence was enormous. It wasn't just a council, it was the heartbeat of the republic. The magistrates. Beneath the consuls were the magistrates. Praetors managed justice and the courts. Quaestors handled money and taxes. Aediles maintained public buildings and festivals. Each served short terms and could be vetoed by higher offices. Power was temporary, accountability was constant. The assemblies. The Roman people also had a voice through the assemblies. Citizens gathered to vote on laws and elect officials, but not all votes were equal. The wealthy had more influence than the poor, so Rome was not truly democratic, at least not yet. Rome's society was divided into 2 groups: the patricians, old, noble families who held most of the power, and the plebeians, farmers, soldiers, and workers who made up most of the population. The plebeians fought Rome's wars, paid its taxes, and built its roads, but had almost no voice in government. They couldn't hold high office, couldn't marry into patrician families, and often fell into debt. Frustration grew, and soon the plebeians would rise up. In 494 BC, after years of unfair treatment, the plebeians made a bold move. When enemies threatened Rome, they refused to fight. They left the city and camped on a hill called Sacred Mount. They demanded change. Without them, the republic couldn't survive, so the patricians gave in. The plebeians formed their own assembly, the Council of the Plebeians, or Concilium Plebis. For the first time, ordinary citizens could pass their own laws and elect their own leaders, the tribunes of the plebs. The tribunes became the protectors of the people. They were sacred and untouchable. Harming a tribune was punishable by death. Most importantly, they held the power of veto. They could stop any law or decision that threatened the plebeians. This was revolutionary. It meant every citizen now had a voice in the government. Over time, their laws, the plebiscita, applied to all Romans, not just the plebeians. For nearly 500 years, this balance of power kept Rome strong. From a small city on the Tiber River to a Mediterranean superpower, Rome's republic wasn't perfect, but its ideas, shared power, rule of law, and representation would inspire nations centuries later, including the United States. But power can corrupt, and eventually, ambition and civil war would end the republic. But that's a story for another day. And that's how the Roman Republic was born. From the fall of kings to the rise of a government built by and for the people. If you enjoyed this dive into Rome's early history, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Until next time, Vale, that's Latin for goodbye.